Hi, and welcome back to Craft Along with Jay. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Yetta, and I am so happy you could join me today. Today's video is part of the Calendar Girls collaboration. The theme is snowmen. The hosts are Tiffany from Simply Blessed Crafts and Jessica from The Busy Housewife. And the guest host this month is Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. And don't forget, when you're done with this video, go down to my description box and check out that playlist. It's going to be a fun one. All right, for project number one, I got this wood square from the Dollar Tree, and I got some bamboo sticks, four of them, and I got those off of Amazon, I believe. And I'm gonna measure them around to make a frame for my wood square. Trying to figure out where to start. Figured it would be this side so y'all can see what I'm doing. So here I'm just kind of eyeballing where I need to cut, and I'm using my miter shears to cut the piece, and it's not very hard. They cut fairly easy, so that's a plus. I didn't have to go down to the garage and use my saw. So, and here I'm gonna get another piece and cut it to the same length. And I had measured back on the wood square to make sure I had cut it right, and I did. So we're gonna cut another piece just the same, and I'm just using a little clamp there at the bottom to help me keep it in place. Then we cut another piece. And I'm still making sure they fit, and I'm going to line them up because now we need to measure another one that needs to go in between for the top and the bottom. And here you can see I'm measuring from where it's going to lay in between the two bamboo sticks already down. And when I got that figured out, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it with my miter shears and make sure I got the right size. And then I'll cut the other piece the same way I cut the other one, lay it on top and clamp it and then cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint them with, I think it was cut it white. But before then, I want to go ahead and just sand down the edges where we cut. It cut pretty clean, but there was a little bit of roughness. So I just want to sand that down so it's kind of nice and smooth. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint them and put them to the side to dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to get this pretty page from a calendar that came from the Dollar Tree. And it has a little snowman at the bottom. And it's from this calendar. So even though the theme is snowman, we have to incorporate calendars in some way or another, or pieces of a calendar. So you just try to be creative here. So even though there isn't a snowman on this page, we're still going to give it a little extra. So stay tuned and you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and use my Elmer's glue stick and cover the wood square, and then we're going to attach the calendar page. And I'm going to do it in sections because I feel like this glue dries so quickly on this wood. So I'm going to lay it down, press it down, and make sure you get to the corners because you want it to be smooth and it's not going to lift it at the edges. So here I keep going, and then I'm going to press it down. Then I'm going to use Dollar Tree's wood glue and add it to my bamboo sticks. And then I'm going to attach them to the board. And I'm going to use some clamps to help me hold it in place. I am not using any wood glue. I'm just using wood glue, but no hot glue, because I want to be able to maneuver it around as I'm getting the pieces down if I need to shift it a little bit to make sure that everything fits nice and snug. Um, and it's hard to do when you have the hot glue because it will dry right away. So with the wood glue, you have a little bit of leeway. And here I'm just going in with a paper towel and just wipe away anything that may have seeped out from underneath. And here I'm gonna line everything up here to make sure I have the space that I need. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attach the other one. Same process. Gonna add the clamps and then wipe away any excess wood glue. And then I'm gonna repeat the same steps on either side of the wood board right here. And then I got the snowman from the Dollar Tree, and I have him sitting on top of a wood slice that is from Hobby Lobby. And I'm being extra careful because I have him placed the way I need him to place the way I want him to sit when we attach everything, so you'll see in a minute. But first, we gotta cut off this tag, and then I'm just gonna use some hot glue. I'm just gonna lift him a little bit, add some hot glue, and then just place him right back down, and just kind of hold him in place so the glue dries. Then I'm gonna go in with some snow text, and I'm gonna add that around the snowman on the wood slice, and I'm just dabbing it down. I'm gonna do that all the way around, and here you gotta get a little close up so you can kind of see. You just kind of dab it down to make it look like snow, like real snow. It's not nice and flat. It's kind of like bumpy, when snow starts falling. So that's what I'm gonna be doing all the way around. And here you can see how nice it looks around the snowman. Then I decided to go in with some snow text where there's snow on the calendar page as well, just to give it a little bit more of a realistic look and add a little extra detail to the page. So I'm gonna go around all those places where you see snow and add some. And I'm just dabbing it down onto those areas. And this snow text came from Hobby Lobby, and I've had that for a couple of years, so it really does last a very long time. There's still plenty left in my little bottle right there. So I'm just gonna dab it on. And I don't hope I left all of it in, because that was definitely not my intention. So if I did, I apologize. You're gonna see me do every single area, it looks like. But anyway, I'll take the moment to just thank you all for being here with me. It really means a lot to me. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing here. But leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about my projects. And if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I would really love to have you. So here we keep going. I should have cut some of this out. I really do apologize. And if some of it kind of falls off a little bit, you can kind of just use your finger to press it back up there. It's pretty easy to work with. It's not really very difficult. But it does seem to cling to the brush, so there's some good cleaning afterwards for sure to get it all off your brush. So just keep that in mind. You may want to use an old brush. And here I'm just going to go in a little close up so you can kind of see the snow sitting there. Kind of gives it a nice realistic look. And here I'm using my finger to get some of it off my brush because it does tend to clump up and get stuck in there. Um, so yeah, if you want to work with snow text, make sure to use an older brush because it does kind of affect the brush afterwards. And here I got my snowman on his wood slice. I'm going to line him up on my board. And I'm going to add some hot glue just to the rim on the wood slice where it's going to touch and attach it to my frame right there. And then I'm going to go in with 6 tumbling tile blocks. I'm going to connect them end to end in a line. And then I'm going to attach that to the back side of my frame to make it so it can stand on its own. And then I decided it needed something else. I went in with some of these snowflakes from Hobby Lobby and I painted them with the cottage white, just 4 of them, and I just kind of added them randomly down here just to give it a little extra 3D effect. And I think it really added some extra touch to this frame, and I love how this turned out. Let me know what you think. And I love this calendar page. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it really does give a winter feel. Um, so that I think the snowman fit right in. So yeah, let me know what you think about this one. And then we'll move on to project number 2. Then we're going to go to a different calendar. And then we're going to use this one that says Every Moment Matters. And I'll explain why I picked that one in a little bit. And here I'm just going to cut it all the way around. I just want the saying only. So everything around it, I'm going to cut off. And I used it from the back side, not from the inside, because I just needed the small picture of it, not a big picture. And then I got this wood cutout from the Dollar Tree. It's a snowman, and I'm gonna add some Mod Podge to the snowman itself. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some faux snow to make him a snowman, of course. So now I got a little bit of ahead of myself right here. I would suggest that you paint the snowman first with some white before you do this part, because you will see some of the board, even though you cover it with snow. It doesn't look bad at all. It still came out super cute, but just in hindsight, just to give it that little extra whiteness to it, like a snowman. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I was just getting ahead of myself and I went straight for the snow. But I really like the effects the snow has on my snowman here. So I'm doing his body and I'm going to do his face. And no, I did not cover the carrot for snow, so that will come off. As you can see here, I'm going to paint it with Pumpkin by Waverly's chalk paint. And I give it either one or two coats. Probably just one coat. I think it covered it up pretty well. And I'm just using a fine tip brush for this part. And then when I've done that, I'm going to go in with Apple Barrel's black acrylic paint. And with another fine tip brush, I'm going to go ahead and paint 7 of the half beads that's right here on the tape. And I have it taped down so that way it's not going to move when I'm painting. And I'm reusing it from a different project that I didn't need anymore. So I took the half beads off of there. That's why they're purple. But we're going to paint them with black. All 7 of them, we give it a good coat. And you just need one. It's very pigmented, so it'll cover up really well. And here I'm going to go in with my cottage white, and I'm going to paint the rim of the hat and also the little pom-pom at the end of the hat, as you see right here. And that I do give 2 coats because you can kind of see part of the wood through it, even though it's a light color. So this I give 2 coats and let it dry in between, of course. Then I'm going in with this vintage teal. Um, it did not, I feel like it came out when I painted it onto my snowman scarf and hat. It looked more green than it looked teal to me, even though I gave it 2 coat, because I thought it would match the calendar page we're going to use here in a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. So once I painted it and let it sit, I was like, it's too green. I didn't like it. So I went back and painted it with crimson red and I gave it 2 coats. And I actually like this red better. And here I'm going to go in with those half beads and we're going to glue down 2 of them as his eyes. And then the other 5, we're going to create his mouth. And you'll see that in a second. At first I'm lining them up to make sure I have the look that I want of his mouth. And then I'm going to go in with the hot glue and glue them down. And then that little sign we cut out in the beginning that says every moment matters, I'm going to glue that to my snowman because it reminded me of Frosty. Frosty the Snowman. Every moment matters before it gets warm again and you melt. So you make the best of it. And I thought that was so appropriate. That's why I wanted to attach that. And then I got this December um, calendar page, and I'm going to glue that onto a wood round from the Dollar Tree as well. Both pieces are. And I'm going to do it in section as well as we did the previous one. And to just make sure it's like down tight. And then once it's dried, I'm going to go with my sanding block and I'm just going to sand the excess off around the edges. And it comes off pretty quickly, very easy. Maybe I shouldn't say quickly, but easy. And then I got this pom-pom looking ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is my last piece of it, so I want to go back and get some more because I really like this, especially for the winter. I think it resembles snow in so many ways, snowflakes, snowballs. So I wanted to go around the edge of my wood round with this because I felt like it fit right in with the theme. And I'm going to go all the way around, just attach it with some hot glue. And I've attached the hanger back onto it, the hanger that it came with. And here's my snowman. I probably should have sprayed him a little bit with some hairspray um, just to keep the snow from not getting everywhere, as you can see here. So if you want to recreate it, just add a little hairspray just to keep it sealed in. But then I attached two tumbling tile blocks to the back and added some hot glue and put it down on my wood round just to give it some 3D effect on it so it's not flush against the board. And I think that turned out super cute. Then I went in with another little snowflake that I painted with cottage white. I'm going to attach that to cover that hole in his hat where you could put a string and hang him. But look at him. I think he's absolutely adorable. You're going to have to let me know what you think about this one as well. I like the snowman theme. I had so much fun with this, and I think they turned out absolutely amazing. So let's go on to the last one, project number 3. Now, don't blink. If you do, you're going to miss out. It is that easy. I got this page from another calendar from the Dollar Tree as well, and it's that one. And it has all these beautiful images on the back, but I really like this page. So we're going to tear that out. And then I got another frame from the Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna take the back part of it off. But these things were kind of hard to move up, and it was hurting my fingers, so I just used my scissors to help me get them kind of bent upward so we can take the backing off, like so. And I just take the papers off that's there. And then I'm trying to see if it fits. It's very close, but there was a little bit of overhang. And I'm trying to put it down on the glass to see if it makes a difference, if I'm going to be able to just put the backing on, but I do have to trim it down. So I just trim it a little bit at a time until I have the size that I need. Because you can always keep trimming, but if you cut too much off, you can't really add it back on. So I just did a little bit of trimming at a time until I had the perfect fit. And then once I had that, I'm gonna put it right. No, I don't put it back down. I'm gonna add something to it, but I'm making sure that it fits, and it does. It looks good. Take it back out, and then I got this window cling snowman, and I'm gonna add him. You thought I was gonna forget the snowman, didn't you? I didn't. I had a window cling, and there was a snowman on it, and I thought he would be perfect right there down in the corner, and I think he fits in with the image as well. But here I'm just putting my frame down to make sure the placement of my snowman, he's not covered by the edge of the frame. But it all worked out, and then I'm just gonna add some Mod Podge to the back of him and attach him to the calendar page because he doesn't stick on to the page. So when you pull the page up, he's gonna come right off. So I just added a little bit of Mod Podge to adhere him, and here I do a little bit in sections as well because it was kind of hard to do the whole thing at one time and not get Mod Podge everywhere. So this way worked great and no mess. And then once I got that covered back there, I'm gonna press him down and I'm just gonna smooth everything out. And I think he looks absolutely adorable on that page. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put him back in the frame and then add the backing as well. And then we're gonna use our scissors to push him back down because that was hard too. And that is what it looks like so far. We're just gonna add one little extra touch, a red velvet bow, just to give it a little bit of pop of color. And um, I just love this red velvet ribbon and make little bows out of it. And here you can see I just made the bow and then I'm going to add a little ribbon around to cover up the jute twine. So here's the back when I tied it and I'm just going to fold a piece of the red ribbon back there with some hot glue. And once that's dry, I'm going to go around with the other part to complete the coverage of the jute twine. A little dab of glue, hold it in place, and then just cut off the excess. Then you have like a beautiful bow that looks completely finished. Then I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue and glue it right to the corner of my frame. And I was kind of going back and forth of leaving the tails long or cutting them. I really liked them long, but that just wouldn't cooperate with me. So I ended up just cutting them at an angle, make them shorter. And it doesn't look bad at all. But I would have preferred the longer ones, but I was kind of having a little bit of a hard time with them. And this is what it looks like. I think that red bow kind of gave it a little extra, and I love it. Let me know what you think about this one. This was so super easy, but I think it's still absolutely cute. So, well, let's take a look at all three of them. Just a reminder what we did. So, calendar pages, snowmen in all different formats right here. There's so many options, and you just gotta be creative and have fun with it. I sure did. Now, don't forget to check out the playlist and see what everybody else made. I can't wait to see it. If you made it all the way to the end of the video with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment and hype. I would really appreciate it, and it would sure help my channel grow. So, with that being said, until next time.